Alright, we are live. So, get you guys set down here. Flip you around. Alright, so welcome, good morning, to another edition of the Friday Morning Commute. So here my keys jingle jingle. Move this just slightly, maybe. Yeah! Get back here. Okay, or we could do that. Hey! I'm okay with that. Okay, so, hope you all guys' week has been nice. Mine's been fairly enjoyable. Exhausting and tiring and all that fun jazz, but, fairly nice. This week, what we're going to discuss is Destiny, the upcoming changes, specifically 2 points from the patch notes, as well as the Vault of Glass raid, because we can. So, starting off, yesterday, Thursday the 23rd of July of the year 2015, aka Stardate 201507.23, Bungie released its weekly patch notes about 3 to 4 to 5 o'clock Central, which I am currently located, and I got a chance to read them, just briefly enough to go, oh, that's really cool. You see, what they're doing for the patch notes up to the release of the next full-length expansion. I'd call the previous expansions somewhat of like DLCs or downloadable content, where they added to the game, but they weren't strictly a straight progression of the game storyline-wise. Now, I may be proven wrong in the next expansion that story elements that were implemented in the Dark Below and the House of Wolves will be acted upon further in the Taken King. However, as it is, I just do not see that happening. So, and this weekly update, they gave out descriptions of a couple of weapon manufacturers. Now, this is really cool because it kind of begins to show a little bit of diversity and story to behind the weapons. One of the things I liked about Borderlands, and I haven't played Borderlands 2, I have it on Steam. I just don't have a PC that is strong enough to play it as well as stream it at the same time. Otherwise, I might be doing that as well until I can get to the point where I can stream Destiny. As a tangent, that's my goal. That's the reason I keep in touch with it. I picked it up a couple months ago and have just loved it. I figured that I would. I'm fairly certain the only reason I didn't at launch was I didn't have time. And Destiny has proved me correct in that aspect, that to fully enjoy the game, you have to be able to dedicate 2 to 3 hours of gameplay a day. Or 2 to 3 hours of game time if you're going to play and make progress towards significant goals. Still on my tangent, by the way. A good example of this is the Moments of Triumph. So for Year 1 players, you complete all these Moments of Triumph on one console family, on one character. Then you get a emblem recognizing your contributions to making yourself a legend in the Destiny universe moving forward into Year 2. There's some pretty significant stuff. Now, if you've been playing Destiny a while, most of the stuff you've already done. Or you've done, with the exception of 3 of the needed elements, which is defeat the Vault of Glass raid on hard mode, defeat the Crota's End raid on hard mode, and defeat Skolos in the level 35 Prison of Elders, which is a hard mode raid or strike, for lack of a better term. Okay, so going back to the weapons, it's going to be nice to see them implement more of a weapons manufacturing perspective. So, as you play through the game, you're going to get a feel for the different weapon manufacturers and the different stats that each weapon manufacturer tends to give towards its weapons. Some are going to be higher impact, and this is hypothetical, but some are going to be like higher impact versus range, or maybe rate of fire, where some are going to be a higher rate of fire, lower range. You're going to have these significant trade-offs where I choose manufacturer X because its guns have Y stats favored. So you're going to have people choose weapons that are perhaps higher damage per second. Each bullet tends to have a higher impact and they come out at a higher rate of fire. Or you're going to have people who are very strategic in their shots and choose higher damage, but perhaps lower rate of fire, but more stability. So they're able to land their shots more successfully to the parts and the parts of the enemy that will allow for precision damage or precision kills. Now that's only one of the most exciting facts. What you can't see is, as my arm is going up and down, I'm exaggerating with my hands. You can kind of see the shadow. Hello, you see my hand shadow? Wow, that's kind of a cool hand shadow. It's like 10 fingers. Anyway, I'm the six-handed man. If your name is Inigo Montoya, please stay away. I killed your father. I'm not ready to die. So along the lines of weapon manufacturers becoming more pronounced and more realized as they have been in the Borderlands series, you're going to see class and faction specific weaponry. Okay, let that sink in. Class and faction specific. So in a sense, we currently have faction specific weapons, at least of the legendary variety, that are at least branded for their specific faction. So, another quick side tangent, you've got two primary factions in the world of Destiny. You have the Vanguard, which are the ruling council of the tower. They tell the Guardians, they direct the Guardians in preserving the current light or area of light, as well as directing them on missions to push back the darkness and take back what was lost during the collapse. On the other, or one of the other factions, is called the Crucible. The Crucible is Destiny's player versus player element. It's essentially matchmaking with different game types, but the thought behind it in game is that Guardians are only as good as their skill level, and by providing arenas for Guardians to battle out against each other, that you're increasing their overall potency later on. Now, it could be said that Guardians who are actively fighting the darkness don't need the Crucible, and on the other hand, Guardians who are in the Crucible are not as well attuned to fighting the enemies of darkness. But that's a little bit of too much gameplay headcanon that I don't want to get into at the moment. I have my own thoughts on that, and maybe I'll make another video once I have those thoughts more fully fleshed out and what I can glean from the Grimoire. But in essence, those are the two main ones. Now, for each of these two factions, as you complete bounties or specific requested actions, you get rewards in faction credit, faction rank, there we go, faction rank, as well as marks. Now, these marks are used to purchase gear, respectively, instead of glimmer, which is glimmer is the primary monetary source of destiny. So you've got your two main factions. Then you've got three other side factions that if you rank up in them, if you complete tasks in their name, you don't get credit for Vanguard tasks, but you do get credit for this faction. So you complete Vanguard tasks, say, in the name of Dead Orbit, which is one of the factions, then you get Dead Orbit credit towards your rank increase, or towards your Dead Orbit rank, versus getting it for the Vanguard. And as you level up, well, let me back up. In order to begin leveling up, you have to purchase a faction item. Now, this faction item currently sits in your class item spot, so it's at the very bottom of your inventory page. If I could show you, I would, but I can't, so it's okay. And then you just have it equipped and you start earning reputation towards that faction. So you've got Dead Orbit, which believes that Earth is going to fall, so we should aim towards the stars. You've got Future War Cult, which is, I think, cognitive to the fact that there could be a war amongst the Guardians coming. That's kind of just my initial thought. I don't know how accurate that is, though. I haven't done a lot of research on them. And then you have the New Monarchy, which wants to set up a new ruling council for Earth, probably in the hopes that the last city that the Guardians are stationed in and their tower is in will become the ruling throne for this new world order as the darkness is pushed back. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Currently, all they do is offer potentially good gear if you're ranked up well enough, and a few weapons that are flavored towards them. So they're not terrible, but they don't add a lot of in-depth flavor to the game in the sense that, oh, maybe one faction is better than the other. Currently, they're all three equal. You can have rank in all of them and it not conflict, which leads me to think that they could be better, more well done. So, to wrap it up, I don't think I hit all the points I wanted to. Oh well. So, highlights. Bungie weekly update. Woohoo! Class and faction-specific weapons. Woohoo! Actual weapon manufacturers that are giving preference to different stats. Woohoo! The Taken King coming out in September. Woohoo! So, all good stuff. Please follow me on Twitter if you're watching this on YouTube, at Rovendoug, ROVENDOUG. I know. If you're watching this on Twitter right now or on Periscope later, look for me on YouTube, Douglas Holman, and then Douglas L. Holman. And then also, if you want to ever see me play live on Twitch, look for me at twitch.tv/Rovendoug. Until next time, people, I'll see you later. Bye.